Hi there, Mark here again. Welcome to this final part of my build series on the DT03 chassis, where this is where we've got to so far. We're going to complete the chassis now and get the racing fighter body installed. So hopefully you'll see a fully finished car at the end. Okay, right, so now it's time to open parts bag D and get on with part or step 26, which is attaching the damper stays. Right, so I've got the rear one, which is a C4, but due to my experience on my DT02s and constantly breaking the front damper stay or shock tower, I've gone straight for the carbon fibre hop up, which is the carbon damper stay front, and for that I'll need to follow the instructions in this bag. So what it's showing here is we swap out part C5 for the carbon fibre one, and what it says is to apply instant cement to the edges. I think that's to seal it in, so I will get a bit of, I think, CA glue onto that before I install it, and it's just a case of mounting the ball connectors and then basically screwing it onto the chassis. Okay, so it's just the 4 10mm screws. Don't know if you can see, but there was a tiny little shim that goes behind the bottom for this brace. Don't need them for the standard one, but for the hop up carbon fibre we need those little shims in there. So that's that on. The balls are on the end. All I need to do now is clip the shock onto the ball, and then you need this kind of brass tube and the screw pin to attach to the bottom. So a bit tricky, this, it might drop out, so just fit the tube into the bottom of the shock and do up the screw pin like so. So I'm gonna, this is, well, I've started to do step 27 now, so I'll finish step 27, which is putting the front and rear shock towers on, the damper stays. So that's the front one. The rear one, again, there's 2 step screws that fit the shocks onto the damper stay, and we turn that round, and it's just 2 10mm screws onto that bracket at the rear, like so. So at the end of step 27, this is what your car should look like. Got the front suspension connected up now, and also we've got the rears connected up, just those step screws to hold the bottom of the shock. All seems to be moving nice and freely. So on to step 28, which is where I'm going to connect my electronic components. So it'll be different depending on which setup you've got. If you've got the standard one like me, you can have the tubular OT and your receiver in front of that. So I'm going to stick all that into place and move straight on to step 29, which is well, it says putting the tyres on. I won't show you doing that, so I'll go straight to step 30, where I will attach the wheels and tyres. So we're nearly there now. I've got my ESC double-sided tape to the top of the chassis there, and the receiver next to it. As you know, I've got this brushless motor in. Because it's such a short run from the ESC to the motor, I didn't see any point in attaching some cables or soldering cables to the motor connector. So what I've done, is you probably see there, is I've just soldered a bullet connector straight onto the motor, and that kind of cuts down the amount of connections I need, keeps it nice and neat. So that just clips on there. It's very tight, these Tamiya connectors. So that's the motor fully connected up. Obviously, remember the sensor cable. Last thing we need to do is put the wheels and tyres on. I've already put the fronts on. You just need to put the bearings, 1 in each side. Obviously, you've got your flange nut on there, piece of cake, and as you can see, with the metal roller bearings, you get virtually no resistance. Makes quite a difference to speed and battery life, so that's you can see why that's recommended. Right, just for the back ones then you need your small pin or shaft as they call it, just goes in there. And then B3, which is your hex wheel adapter, and you need to turn this round until it locates over the pin and sits flush with the bearing. Simply a case of line your wheel up and put on your flange nut. That's step 29 and 30 done. Step 31 is putting a battery in. It goes in here. You've got this part here, which is part M6. That just slides through the hole and stops the battery from popping out of the of its holder. And what I've done here is I've just got the R clip that holds it in, which is a BD5, and I've just attached it with a piece of wire to the chassis, so basically I can't lose it, and that just pops through the hole there and holds the battery in. So basically that's the chassis done. I think I've just got to put on the body post. We'll put it aside for now and we'll move on to steps 32 and 33, which is, well, it's doing the shell. So the first thing I need to do is to cut out the body and the rear wing. I'm not going to use the transponders because I'm not racing it, so but I will keep the spare bits of plastic. And then it says paint orange and black, but I'm going to do the whole of my thing green because I want it to look different. So what we need is, it shows you clearly which bits to cut out, and there is a line. I'll try and show you. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see on this, but there's a line goes around like so. It's quite clearly marked. I just need to trim that round. I'm going to use a nice sharp pair of stainless steel scissors, and for the awkward bits I've got another pair of stainless steel, I think these are nail scissors, so, but they're very sharp and they will get into the little tricky corners. So basically off we go. Just trim the excess off first, makes it easier to get at the actual body. And obviously be careful that you know where you're cutting, because once you've cut it, that's it, it's too late. There's no going back. Okay, so that'll be easy to work on now. So I'll just start with my smaller pair of scissors and I'll trim this out close to the cut line. So that's the shell all cut out. Looks a bit different now, doesn't it, without that excess plastic. So what I recommend you doing is, once you've cut it out, is get yourself some abrasive paper and just smooth off all the rough edges. Make all the corners nice and smooth. Makes a big difference to the finished look. There's the wing, again, cut out and sanded off. So what we need to do now before we spray it is to get the window masks and cut them out and apply them to the inside of the body shell. So there's the sides on. What I recommend you do is to peel back a little bit of the backing, cut off a small amount of the backing. You've got a bit left over, the sticky part, and then offer that up. Press down on the part you've peeled off, and then you can remove the rest of the backing. Push it across and give it a good rub down. So now I'm going to get my paint, give it a good shake and give it a good 3 coats, leaving about an hour, 2 hours in between each coat. So we'll just go and do that and we'll be back in a minute. So that's the spraying done. It's come out a bit darker than it looked on the cap. I don't know what's happened there. It's raining a bit, so maybe that's had an effect on it, but hey, you never know, it might lighten up a bit. I had a nightmare with the wing because trying to get the paint down into this little gap is virtually impossible, so it's kind of run down there. I'll have a look at what I can do about that in a bit. But anyway, this is my favourite part when I'm doing a body. It's taking the protective coating off. So the body will never look the same again. As it comes up, you'll have a full glossy finish that after you've run it the first time you'll lose that when it gets even a few tiny little scratches on. But as you can see, hopefully on the video, I don't know what the light's like, but yeah, it does look pretty shiny when you take that covering off. So I'm going to try not to get too many fingerprints on it, and I'm going to start putting the first stickers on, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so these stickers aren't pre-cut, so what you'll need to do is get, again, your sharp pair of scissors and just cut as closely to the line as you can. When you've trimmed your decal or sticker down, always give it a bit of a test fit first. Yep, that looks perfect. So what I need to do now is, as usual, just peel the backing off a little bit, cut a small piece out like so. So you've got that bit of adhesive there. Offer it up to your body, and then when it's in the right position, just push down on the bit you've cut out, and then pull back and just let the sticker find its own place like that, and then give it a good firm down. So sticker number one, nice carbon fibre effect on that. I'm just going to carry on in the same manner and cover it with the stickers that I want to use. I'm not going to use all of them, I don't think, but I'll see how I go, see what it looks like as I'm putting each sticker on. Stickers applied in, all the sticks I'm going to put on. There's a nice remote addicted sticker there. Hi Charlie, cheers for the stickers, mate. Eventually got one on one of my cars. Hope you like it. Yeah, I think it's come out quite good, the contrast of the colours. I did cut out these panels that went in there because I kind of prefer a bit more of the body colour to show through. Anyway, so yeah, that was quite an easy sticker job. So after you've finished that, all you need to do is fit the body posts, which are E2, screw into place, and then fit your wing together with M4 and M5, and you should get something like this. There's the body posts, the wing attaches through the top of the shock mount there. Okay, right, you might have noticed I've put a little bracket I've glued to the inside of the chassis with some Velcro on. That's because with the clear windows, I think it's going to look a bit bare without a driver. Now there isn't much room in here, so I've got this little chap. I think he was from a super fighter or a rising fighter, one of the two. I had him lying around, so I mounted him on a bit of wood and painted it black to rise him up a little bit. So he kind of pops on there just in front of the receiver. We'll see how well that Velcro holds up, but yes, so there he is in place. Quite an easy job to do. So now it looks like there is actually somebody driving the car. If we just pop the front of the shell through the gap, it's a bit fiddly, I must say, to get through there. There we go. Onto the back mounts, and there you have it. Can't get it in full frame here with this camera view, but you get the idea. So, well, seems like we've come to the end of the build. I've really enjoyed doing this one. It's been a great build. Recommend this to anybody. It's quite simple. good for a beginner, or you know, like me, if you built a few, it's still great fun. Really looking forward to running this with a few mods I've done to it, and the nice brushless motor. Should be interesting to see how well it goes. Hopefully you'll join me on the run video. I'm gonna, because I can't get it all in frame in this shot, I'm going to put some still photos at the end for you to look at it, so you can see what it looks like, hopefully in natural light, so you can see what the colour really does look like. It won't come across properly under these artificial lights. So yeah, I'm glad you followed along. I hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully see you on the next video. Cheers, bye.